Hi everyone, my name's Deb Kemp. I'm the Economic Development Coordinator at Northern Beaches Council. And today is the second of a series of webinars we've been running and had great privilege of working with the ATO to run a series of lunchtime webinars, particularly gearing up till October tax time to help businesses get ready for tax. We've got a range of topics. We had one last week on starting a business. This one today is about digital options for small business. And I encourage you to go on and book in for a whole series of them because they're all quite different. We'll maybe at the end give a bit of a summary about the upcoming webinar series. So my role in council is working with particularly small businesses, trying to connect you during this challenging time and connecting you in with state government, federal government support, but also what council can do to help you, and maybe talk about that a little bit further later on during the webinar. But for today, I just want to hand over to Lyndon, who's the Small Business Experience at the ATO, who's going to be running this webinar today. And just to note, we are recording this, so we will be making this recording available on our council website at the end, so don't feel like you have to write everything down. And we also have got a chat box up if you want to put questions in there, and we'll also maybe put in some useful links as we're going through the webinar today. So I'll now hand over to Lyndon to do a formal introduction.
Thanks, Deb. Hi, everyone. My name's Lyndon Regina. I'm coming to you from the Australian Taxation Office on everything digital. You'll be surprised with what the tax office can offer digitally and what's out there that you can actually access. So look, I placed a link into the handout in the chat box earlier. Hopefully you've received that. I'm also going to place an email address direct through to me. All I ask is that you would place Lyndon in the subject heading line. Look, the reason why I do that is because often we come to these types of platforms and we think, oh, I should have asked a question, I could have asked a question. Hopefully you're not going to wake up tonight thinking, oh, I've got a tax question. But if a question does come to you, don't hesitate to email me, because I pick up those emails personally and I send links relating directly to the question that you've asked, just so you can find that those answers easily. So look, I'm just going to pop that into the chat box now. Now look, I encourage questions throughout the session. No question is a silly question, because guaranteed I have asked them all. So come on down, this is your time to shine, to ask those hard-hitting questions. Look, if there's something that I can't answer, what I will do is get you to email me your question, and I'll actually send direct links to you. I'll reply to that email. So note that email address down, and obviously my name. So look, let's start the beginning of the webinar. Throughout the webinar, I'm going to be placing links into the chat box. The reason why I'm placing these links is because it's direct to our COVID support. We understand that small businesses are doing it tough. Thinking of our dear friends in Victoria at the moment, they're very, very much on our minds. So look, throughout the webinar, I'll do my clunky, copy and paste into the chat box, and we'll keep driving on through. So look, firstly, I'd like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners and the custodians of country throughout Australia and their continuing connection to land, waters and the community. Look, I'd like to pay my respect to them and their cultures, their elders, past and present. So look, chat box wise, not sure if you know how to use it, but if you head down the bottom of the chat box, you can pop in whether you want to talk to me privately, whether you want to send questions through to the host or the panelist, or you can choose everyone, that's fine. And throughout the session, I'll be answering those questions along the way. So what I like to do in these types of spaces is find out who's in the audience. Tell me what you're doing with your small business. Are you using online services, software, apps to help operate your small business? Perhaps you're still running by paper, and that's fine if you're still running by paper. We just need to gain a bit of an understanding of who's using what. Are you thinking about starting a small business? Perhaps you might be running a home-based business. So Give me a bit of an idea of who you are through the chat box, and I can tailor this session for the information that you're going to need throughout the webinar. So don't be shy. I'm definitely not shy, and I'm definitely more than happy to answer your questions. All right, so let's have a little bit of a look at our overview. So we're going to look at the benefits of using digital systems, online marketing and sales, accounting software, online banking, paying employees and contractors in the business portal. And I can give you a couple of little tips and hints along the way as well, because I used to sit in an auditor's seat for some time. I've sat in a lot of different seats around the tax office, so I've been very fortunate to be able to gather the information that I've been able to gather. But in saying that, I certainly don't know everything about tax. So if I'm not 100% sure, I certainly am the first one to put my hand up and go, I need to get back to you on that one, because more often than not, the information is quite fluid. As you know, remember when COVID hit and messages coming out through federal government were thick and fast. So there's a lot of information there for you to take on board, plus go through COVID and go through homeschooling. I don't know who did homeschooling. I did, and let's just leave it at that, yeah? All right, let's drive on in. So let's look at the benefits of using a digital system. So digital options for your small business. Look, it's about using digital tools such as online services, software systems and mobile apps to perform your daily business activities. So in this session today, we're going to talk more along the lines of digital systems. So using paper documents or having paper systems for operating your daily business activities, look, it's not a problem, as I said before. If it works and you feel more comfortable using paper, look, that's fine, no dramas at all. But I will put this to you. Maybe you should consider using your digital systems to operate your business. And we're going to look at some of the benefits behind using digital systems. Look, it's quick, it's easy to record your business activities. How many of you have spent your precious hours trying to hunt down paper invoices or documents that you just can't seem to find? I'm definitely one of them. So in a digital system, it's easy to find those processes of recording and organising your business information. Look, it only takes a few steps digitally. Through paper, it can be a lot more cumbersome. You can access your digital systems anytime, anywhere, and that's the best part about it, because you've got tax on the go. And when you've got tax on the go, it means that you don't have to sit down at the end of the financial year, pull your hair out, because you've got it all digitally. It's right there in front of you. So if you don't want to be in your office, you can be out seeing your clients, you can still record your information. You can also find that many systems support various devices like laptops, tablets, PCs, mobile phones. So your business information, look, it's backed up regularly by the providers, so it's easy to restore your data if something goes wrong. So for example, if with natural disasters, and we've certainly seen it this year with 2020, I mean, look, I'm almost ready to put up my Christmas tree after some of the stories I've heard come out of small business, but, you know, we're just going to keep trudging on. But small businesses that lose their paper-based records from, for example, bushfires, may have difficulty recovering their information. Actually, on that note, I was only talking to some colleagues of mine in Western Australia and some friends in WA, because I'm originally from WA, and I don't know if you know, the southwest corner of WA's copped its biggest drenching in 23 years. So there's been a lot of flooding and a lot of people have lost their tax records. So look, many businesses' software or accounting software will provide you with reports such as cash flow, profit and loss, business trends, and help you review how well your business is doing. So if you have a digital system that records your business expenses, look, you'll find it a lot faster to claim your tax deductions in your annual tax return. So before I hit marketing and sales, I'm just going to have a little bit of a look through the chat box. So we've got a home-based business, we've got a bookkeeping business. Go Judith. doing your bookkeeping, and you've got your first client starting tomorrow. So that's fantastic. And it's good to see that you're using those online services because, as I said, it just makes it so much quicker. Who wants to spend all their time doing tax? I know I certainly don't. Okay, what else have we got? We've got another home-based business making leather goods from recycled leather. I've had a bit of a play with leather and doing different things with it. It's quite a pliable item. Okay, and a physiotherapist currently working as a subby, looking to work as a sole practitioner. Yeah, I can understand why you'd want that that stability, Stephanie. So look, great to have you on board. Thanks for coming through and taking your time to tell me, you know, what you're about and who's in the audience. And it sounds like the majority of you are right across the digital space. Hopefully I can just add one or two bits to assist you with running your small business. Let's look at marketing and sales. So let's assume you've obviously, as I can see, you're already running your business. So your business registrations are done. So that's the first bit. So you've got a business name, you've got an ABN, your bank accounts are set up, you're ready to receive payments from your sales. You also have a phone number, an email address so your customers can contact you in relation to your products and your services. So look, pretty much you're all ready to go. As I can see who's in the audience, you're already making money. Let's try and make a bit more money and save a lot more time. All right, so one of the most important things for a new business, you must think about marketing. Look, you want your business to succeed and you want to find the best ways to promote your business. So how you do your research, look, it's going to be different for everyone. But let's look at a business website first. So back in the early days, many websites were just general information board for the business required. And obviously it needed an engineer to be able to build it. So to customize it, look, you'll spend a lot of money. So these days, there are many website builders and service providers that will be able to design templates, hosting services, online sales and marketing tools. Look, there's lots more, but they're just a few. So today, it's a lot easier to build your website and more flexible when you're choosing the features you want at more affordable prices. So you'll need to do your own research to find the best one for you. But listed here on your screen are a few options to help get you started. You might have seen a couple of these on TV of late, especially during COVID. I've noticed GoDaddy has done a massive marketing campaign across a couple of channels on the TV. So yeah, it's all, you know, food for thought as to who you choose to go with. So many of these services provide drag and drop from the menu into your web page. So it's easy to build and edit each page that you want to create. They provide many design templates for you to choose from, and it's fairly quick and easy to build a website, but it may be harder to customize the website once it's published. For some of the services. Look, some of these websites, they're whiz bang. They get absolutely everything done, but just don't be afraid to ask those questions. I'm a huge believer of that. If you don't ask, you don't know. So many of these companies, they do have monthly fees. They have different plans which provide different levels of features. So again, you'll need to explore and find out, obviously, what's going to be the best for your business. So let's have a little bit more of a deeper dive into the social media networks. Some of these you may be familiar with. So social media networks, look, they can help build stronger relationships with your customers when it's used well, that is. So social media, look, it can be a great tool to show how your business is different from your competitors. So for example, in Facebook, simply creating your business page and uploading your feeds on a regular basis, look, it's free. So for some businesses, this may just be enough. But if you want more exposure to your potential customers, you can pay for Facebook ads. So for each ad, you'll need to decide the most important outcome you want for the ad. For example, sales on your website, wrap, increase brand awareness. You'll then need to choose the right demographics and the interests and the behaviours that best represent your customers. You can then choose what you want to run in your ad and when you want to run it. So that can be across Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, or, you know, perhaps you want to do across it all. It allows you to choose a daily or a lifetime budget and the time period during which you want your ads to run. And that's really, really important when we note this, because I've got a marketing background, and I've always believed that first thing in the morning and last thing at night, and you've got to choose that night, you've got to look at your time zones in regards to when you're going to post those Facebook posts. Because it's what demographic do you want to hit, what market do you want to hit, and that's really important to narrow that down, drill down, and find out what your demographics and your markets are. So by doing this, it allows you to control your budget. You don't spend more money than you're comfortable with, and your ad's running. You can monitor its performance and edit the ad if you want, and that's the beauty of it, because you've got the freedom of being able to do what you want to do. So if you find that one version of your ad is working better than the other, you can tweak and make adjustments to the other ads as you want. So if you were to use Shopify, your customers can purchase and pay for products and services straight from there. So LinkedIn ads and YouTube ads, look, they also provide similar features. Deciding on which social media platform to use for your business marketing, look, it's going to depend on many things, such as, as the type of business that you've got, what platform has got more potential customers for your business, what kind of level of interactivity that you want to have with your customers through social media, and how easy you feel managing your ads. So tell me, in the crowd, who's using a Facebook page? Who's got a Facebook page? And have you found it helpful? Perhaps you've had a negative experience. Come on down through the chat box, because I'd love to hear what your experiences are, because I take this intelligence back to the Australian Taxation Office, and it's really valuable for us to gain an understanding of what small businesses are going through at the moment, because obviously there's not much income out there. Sales have dropped. The economy's not looking flash. We don't have much money to spend on things like marketing. So if you are using any free platforms, come on down through the chat box. Let me know what platforms you're using and how you're using those platforms. So let's talk more about online marketplaces. Have you used them? I know I certainly have used them through, private sales. I advertise some of the tax webinars that we do with our local councils. I don't mind sharing, all the webinar type posts, and we get quite a good traction by doing it on those free platforms. So just Judith said no social media yet, just working through the beginnings of the business, and I get that, and that's why you come along to these types of webinars, so you can gain a clear understanding of what's going to suit your business. Linda started to set up a Facebook page but was struggling with the setup. So have you tried Google? I know it sounds, you've probably already done that, but I always find those how-tos on Google, they're absolutely fantastic. And I love the easy steps they take, because if people don't give it to me in clear, plain English, technology-wise, I'm hopeless. So Google is an absolute blessing to me. Tommy doesn't use Facebook and doesn't like it. You want to use Instagram. I've come around a lot of people like that, Tommy. Facebook's a very personal platform. So again, it all depends on what you want to do, but Instagram and LinkedIn seems to be more professional type platforms. But again, look at your industry type. Look at your geography, look at your demographics. Drill down in relation to what audience you want to target as to what platform you want to use. Don has no social media yet, still very fresh, getting started, but planning on it. Yeah, so that's fantastic. Go you. I'm really proud of you all, because it's all about having a go. If you don't have a go, how are you going to know? That's my life mantra. So look, let's have a bit of a look at these online marketplaces. So when you sell your products online, as we've just seen, you can use your website or social media networks. You don't have to use these, or you don't need your own online sales platform, you can use those online marketplaces, as I was mentioning previously. So eBay and Amazon, look, they're the most well-known online marketplaces. They already have a huge number of customers. They're international as well, depending if you can get your gears out of the country, get your products or your services out of the country. But post-COVID, it's certainly a great place to look. You can focus on putting your product information, putting correct prices, linking your bank account details or PayPal account. These types of platforms provide entire sales processes, from reviewing the product, you add it to the cart, you track your payment and your delivery, and your customers can pay by credit card or by PayPal. So there's some sort of guarantee of payment there as well. eBay, as an example, look, it has seller ratings. So if you have a very good review as a seller, look, you're going to be more trusted, and obviously that's going to attract a heap more customers. However, using these servers also mean there will be a high level of competition. So if there are many other businesses that are providing same or similar services as what you're providing, you know, obviously you're going to need to up your game. But that you can only do that by seeing what's online. What are the others doing? How can I better that? So these services, look, they don't cost you much, if anything. And there's probably less things for you to manage, but there are fees on sales. So it'll depend on the volume of your sales, but their fees may make up a big portion of your business expenses. So before deciding on where you'll sell your products and services, do some research on the benefits and the downsides of using each marketplace. And look, I say that because whatever works for one business, it may not work for the other business, but it just may work for your business. So it all depends. Don't be afraid to visualize your business. Put it down on paper, do your business plan. Doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be something that you can understand, and it can guide you and it can give you those goals that you want to reach. You know, I'm a big believer of visualizing your income and your expenses. And we've got a fantastic webinar called Cash Flow for Small Business Success. And it explains how income coming in and expenses going out. And it gives you that overall visualization of where you're spending your money and when your money's coming in. So I'll give you an example. Perhaps I owned a kayaking business, and I started in January. So my sales were down in January and they climbed up until mid-April, right? Or which will go end of April because I'm catering for school holidays. So sort of end of April. So May was a lot lower. So let's look at it logically. January, I've just kicked my business off. I'm just getting word of mouth out there. I'm getting a bit of a feel for the marketing. February, some of the kids are, you know, most kids have actually gone back to school in February. So that's another thing. Plan when you're actually going to start your business as to what type of business it is. And then when you go back and you look at March, like, why did I make, you know, more money in March than perhaps what I made in April? Or why did I make more money in February as what I did in March? And these are the things that you can drill down as to find out, was it your products, was it your services, was it the hours that you were operating? So lots of things to think about in relation to how you can market your product or your service. All right, so let's have a little bit of a look at online marketing and sales. So there are task-based jobs for service websites. Some of them are listed here. So the processes may differ slightly for each, but generally, a customer posts their task on the site. Different businesses will offer the customer quotes to do the job. The customer compares the quotes, checks out the business profiles, reads the reviews from other customers and asks any questions that they feel that they want to ask. Then the customer chooses a business to do their job. So those, which one was it? I think it's Airtasker. The Airtasker ads on TV, I don't know if they've given you a giggle, but I have certainly had a great laugh from those Airtasker jobs. I almost wanted to put my hand up to do an ad because that was so funny. But Look, depending on the website that you use, you may pay a fee each time you bid for a job. You may pay a regular membership fee. So these are all the types of questions to ask. Many different industries are using these types of services. To name a few, look, accountants, electricians, plumbers, mechanics, tilers, concreters, web designers, photographers. So lots of different industries have jumped on these online platforms. Take the time to research your options. See which service is going to best suit you. Cost-wise, use-wise, ease-wise, you know, is it easy to navigate? There's no point using something if it's not easy and time efficient to be able to use. So online marketing and sales with accepting credit card payments. Now I'm seeing a lot more of this out in the small business space. You know, I only went to my son's football game on the weekend and there was about 4 coffee carts there, coffee trucks there. You know, and they had all those little, you know, that's on your screen actually, the little square Apple dongles that you can just tap and go with your card, or you can slot it in. You know, and they usually charge you a percentage per sale. But again, ask each platform because they're all different. So if you sell your products and your services online, look, you may consider using a handy payment processor that you can connect to your mobile phone. It accepts your credit cards, and obviously your customers are happy because we've all got plastic on us. A few options are listed here. Now, setting up will be different for each product, but usually you'll get a card reader and you'll download the app onto your mobile phone. Many of them are with both chip and magnetic, or use both chip and magnetic cards. So I know myself, I don't tap and go. I always put my card in and do my PIN, but that's just me. I'm back in the dark ages, a lot of colleagues have told me. Look, they have different payment options, but many of them have got the per transaction fee, which I was saying to you before. Some accept American Express, and Visa and MasterCards. So that's something to consider as well. At the time of our research, we found some differences. So the square dongle can be plugged into an iPhone. The Go payment, well, that can be linked with the accounting software QuickBooks. Roam Pay works with most iPhones, Android phones, and BlackBerry cell phones. And with PayPal here, money paid will be added to your PayPal account. So if you're not across PayPal here, you might want to have a bit of a look into it, because I know a lot of people have got PayPal accounts. It might just save you an extra step. Their features may have been changed or upgraded. So do your research, see if they provide what you need. Is the price right? Remember also, ask them how secure their network is and what sort of customer support they provide, because you want to be able to have that backup if you need it. So far, we've looked at digital systems that can help you with your marketing and your sales. And in addition to those, depending on the industry that you're in, you may want to look at other digital systems for your business. So for an example, if you're a restaurant and you accept reservations, you may consider online booking systems. So if your restaurant delivers food, you may want to look at online delivery apps such as Uber Eats or Deliveroo. Travel or event businesses will need online booking systems as well. So that's something for you to think about, you know, moving out of, I call it climbing out of the COVID hole, because that's literally what it is, isn't it? So have a little bit of a think. Whatever you choose to do, just make sure you're comfortable doing what you want to do. Anna's come in and said acuity. Look, I haven't heard of that one. Do what I do. I just get on Google, have a bit of a look and see, you know, check those terms and conditions, check that fine print. Because as you know, a lot of us in life, we're so busy, we forget to check the T's and C's that are written, you know, like this small, and you need to get right up close to it to be able to read it. So have a look, Anna. Look, it might be something for you, but I'm not actually across that one personally. So look, this is where I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to go back to our dear friend Deb, who does a fantastic job with the Northern Beaches City Council. And I'd like to find out, Deb, what's happening in Northern Beaches Council? What are you up to? What are you doing different? What have you got to offer the community? Come on down.
Thanks, Lyndon. That's a big question. So yeah, Northern Beaches Council, we were quite quick when the pandemic was declared to go to council to introduce a series of fee waivers. These particularly related to things like outdoor dining, environmental health inspections, but also hardship rate relief for business and residential rates. So that was the first thing we did as a council, was to try and, where we could, remove some of those costs that we know were impacting businesses, and in particular, I think the hospitality sector. Since then, we've been doing more, I guess, really around kind of educating and connecting the business community. We have one of the largest numbers of businesses in New South Wales, with about over 30,000 registered businesses, and really a key point of council is just trying to help connecting a lot of those small businesses. So we have regular correspondence through our newsletters, so hopefully most of you are already on that, and I'll send an email out at the end of this webinar with links to registering for that newsletter, and also kind of connecting particularly businesses through to state and federal government, things like this today with the ATO webinar series, but also connecting through to Service New South Wales, who are really the state conduit for all of the business support and accessing grants. So that's something else that we've been focusing on. We've been doing some research around what is the issues businesses have been impacted to date, and what do they most need to hopefully get them back up on the road to recovery. And certainly marketing promotions come out as one of the biggest issues, and I think today's topic's really relevant about what can we do to help businesses get online, because this is going to be the new norm, for a while. So we're trying to do a program around helping businesses with their digital marketing. So again, feedback about what particular assistance you need if you're just at the very start of a journey, just getting on Facebook, or whether it's something a bit more sophisticated as your business is maybe a bit more established, about how we can be connecting you to customers both in the Northern Beaches and a wider area. So those are probably the key areas, but really just want to connect with businesses and find out what can council be doing further to support you through this challenging time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you something, you're a real standout amongst Australia with what you're doing at the Northern Beaches Council. And it's interactive, it's engaging, and you've got a wide variety of support. I've had a great little trawl through your website, and I regularly do. I like to keep up with what's happening in different councils. And I'll tell you something, Northern Beaches Council, one interactive council. Go you guys. Kudos. Thank you. All right. So look, what I'm going to do, I've just popped some links into the chat box now. I know it's a big boom of information, but the ATO has a lot to support you with. We understand what you're going through with COVID. I speak to roughly about 50 small businesses per week around Australia, all different types, industry types. Some are struggling. Some have gone out of business, and you know what? Some are doing really, really well, and it's because they went and sought advice. They jumped onto webinars. They educated themselves. They asked questions. So it's absolutely refreshing in relation to what a lot of businesses have been doing. There is one link that I particularly want to highlight whilst we're chatting about support. How many times have you had a question, you've sat on hold to us, you're trying to run your small business, or you've got things to do, life's happening, perhaps you're homeschooling, but whatever you're doing, you don't have a lot of time to do stuff. And when you want to ask a question, you want to get that question answered straight away. So a great little space to go to is ATO Community. Don't know if you know about it. So when you go to ato.gov.au, on the landing page, right at the top of the landing page, it's about in the middle, it says ATO Community. Click on it. Ask your question in the search box there, because chances are your question has already been answered. Okay, so save yourself time. Head to ATO Community, pop your keywords of your question in, and you'll be pleasantly surprised with how good the search engine is. I'll be honest, I often go to ATO Community if I've got questions, because I know I can find those direct answers that have come straight from the tax office. Look, if some of you are already in business, and yes, the economy is down. We're nervously watching what's happening in Victoria. We're nervously watching what's happening around Sydney at the moment, especially, with the schools, those COVID hotspots and those identified infections, that they've sort of kind of come from nowhere. So if you're experiencing financial difficulties or hardship, please don't be afraid to reach out. We are here to support you in any way we possibly can. Okay, so Gavin's come through. Thanks for the link. The PDF handout hasn't come through, unfortunately. Well, Gavin, that's probably because I picked it up off an ATO system. Normally, we run these systems through WebEx, through our ATO internals. So that's probably why that may not be working. But thank you for letting me know. Deb's actually gone and emailed the attendees in relation to the handout. And I'm sure if you did miss out on the handout, no dramas. Happy to send that to you. Deb, just come through to Deb and just say, hey, I'd like a handout to be sent to a certain email address. Deb, have you got something to add there?
Yeah, I was just going to say, we'll email everyone who registered following this webinar with some extra links, and it might take a day or two for the recording of the webinar, but that will also be emailed to you. So again, you can get all of that information to review again.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. But thanks, Gavin. Appreciate the heads up. Kudos to you. All right, let's talk accounting software, because it's always the hot question. What do I do? How do I do it? I want to be online. I want to get all my business done quickly, efficiently. I want to spend more time fishing instead of doing tax. Yeah, I totally understand you. So with your successful marketing and sales strategies, you now have many customers and you're making good money. So, fingers crossed, everything's crossed. Look, you may have daily transactions through your online and in-store sales. So it's important that you keep a good record of your income and expenses, because it's going to see how well your business is doing. Remember when I gave you my kayak example? It gives you that overall overarching visual. So some of them are listed on the screen here, but many of them record and process accounting transactions, such as accounts receivable, accounts payable. It'll give you a general ledger, stock, inventory, purchase orders, bookkeeping, and they can provide you with some reports as well. Some will send online invoices and create expense claims. So if you keep good records for your expenses throughout the year, using an accounting software, look, it'll be quick and easy for you to claim your tax deductions. I see, as an ex-auditor, I saw so many businesses that underclaimed their deductions because they couldn't find their receipts, they couldn't find their details. So this type of software is quite good. So many accounting softwares, they'll allow you to view finance reports such as income statements, balance sheets, statements of cash flow, profit and loss statements. Some will provide you with reports that you're required to lodge to the ATO, and it's going to make it a lot easier and a lot quicker for you to do your reporting. So a lot of accounting software systems are online based. Many say they're cloud based. So you can access it obviously anywhere, anytime, on any device. Review the size and the complexity of your business. I can't highlight that more, because you can decide which are the essential features you'll need, because usually the more complex features you want, obviously the greater the cost is going to be. Now look, I'm just going to pop a link into the chat box. It's all about record keeping. And I'm just keeping an eye on that time, because I want to be able to get you across ATO app. Have you heard of the ATO app? Who's using the ATO app? Any feedback? Come on down. Your time shine through the chat box. I'll pop that in now. So that's record keeping for small business. I've also got the ATO app. So the ATO app, if you were to use, you download it free from your Play Store Android, iPhone, whatever you choose. And you can do tax on the go. And this is why it's my favourite saying, tax on the go. We've always got these little babies on us, whether we like it or not. I know the younger ones. I ran into a friend the other day and he said, oh, I've lost my phone. And I thought, oh, you're young. You probably feel like you've lost your third arm, you know, and feeling quite naked. And he did. He felt terrible. He was so glad the next day when he got it back. But your ATO app, if you've got it on here, let me give you an example. So you go to Bunnings. You go and buy, I don't know, a chainsaw for your hardware business, yeah? Or perhaps you've got a fire business, like a firewood business, something like that. So you go to Bunnings, you go and buy your new Shamban chainsaw. You get to the counter, you pay for it, and if you're anywhere like I am, and I'll probably give myself away when I say this, but this year we received 48 degrees. That's actually, it was just a bit over. So you're probably guessing where I am broadcasting from. But as soon as you walk out of Bunnings, that receipt fades. And there's nothing worse. You go to do your tax at the end of the financial year and you've just got literally a blank page. So it's all about healthy habits. It's all about routine. So when you're at that Bunnings counter, take a photo of the receipt. So the ATO app, you can record your income, you can record your expenses, you can take photos of your receipts. You can also record your business-related kilometres. So it's got a GPS service in there. It's also got a point-to-point service. Now your income, your expenses, your kilometres, year-to-date builds, right? So if you've got this on you, and you've got your banking app, we're just about to talk about online banking apps. So if you've got all of this on your phone, you can cross-reference literally between what you've spent, how much income you've got coming in, and what's in the bank account. So it's quite a handy little tool. Now, if you're an individual sole trader, and I've noticed we've got a couple of them in the crowd today. So what happens, come tax time, you lodge your tax via MyGov. Right? So MyGov, or My Tax, which is inside MyGov, inside the ATO section, it's going to ask you, do you want me to download the data from the cloud? So all that income, the expenses, the receipts, the kilometres, do you want me to bring that down from the cloud and automatically pre-fill your income tax return? So obviously you say yes, and all the information comes down from the cloud and it goes off exactly where it needs to go in your tax return. Remember the old paper copy tax returns? And you'd literally sit at the kitchen table, you'd scratch your head and you'd go, I don't know where to put this. So the ATO app makes those decisions for you. It's less chance of a mistake. So all you basically need to do is at the end of the process, once it's downloaded the data, you've checked all your figures, you've done your calculation of what your expense or your refund, you know, what debit or credit you may be getting from the tax office, just hit send. I did my tax return in 3.2 minutes this year. I was absolutely wrapped, and literally I do time myself. So if you're a partner in a partnership, if you're a company or a trust, you can still use this app. As I say, tax on the go, because it'll still go, the data still all goes up into the cloud, but come tax time, you can bring it down from the cloud, and it comes down in an Excel spreadsheet format. So it's an absolutely fantastic app. It's free. The ATO can't see in it. It would be a breach of privacy, so you don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to start going into online banking, but before I do, Don said if we use the app to record info as a sole trader, but have our tax done by an accountant. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just via that spreadsheet. So you just flick that spreadsheet through to your accountant, and you know what? I'll allow you to be a little bit cheeky. Why don't you ask your accountant for a reduced rate because you've already done your tax throughout the year? I'll plant that seed. I'll leave that one with you. But thanks, Don. I appreciate you coming back with that information. So Bridget usually has a personal tax return done by an agent, feels quite insecure with tax. I get that. It can look a lot bigger than what it actually is. Is there an online tutorial to do my own tax return? Please provide direct links. Yeah, look, Bridget, I do have information around that. I've got quite a bit of information I can send you. Bridget, can you send me an email with that exact question in it, and I'll respond personally with some links, because there's quite a bit of information around that. And well, as you've probably already guessed, I can talk underwater with marbles in my mouth, so we'd be here a lot longer than the hour. All right, so yeah, Bridget, I'll need you to get me to send me that email if you don't mind. All right, come on, let's drive on in. Let's hit online banking. So with your successful marketing and sales strategies, you now have, lots of customers, you're making good money, post-COVID, fingers crossed. You have many daily transactions through your online and inline sales. So when you're getting income in for your sales, you're also going to be paying those bills and paying that rent, and purchasing the supplies for your business. So when you're really busy, look, you're running your business every day, how can you make it easier to check whether the money is received from your customers or make payments for bills and supplies? So online banking, that's the key. You can quickly check if your customers paid you. Some banks, look, you can set up notifications. So whenever money is deposited or withdrawn for expenses, you can keep track of that. Your bank's going to tell you. So you can pay for bills, you can pay for your rent, your supplies online. You can set up regular payments and deductions with your bank to pay certain amounts on certain days to particular recipients each week, fortnight, or perhaps month. You can also check the transaction online whenever you need to, and that's the beauty, again, tax on the go. It's recommended, or I should say business on the go. It's recommended that you have a few separate business accounts, have a sales account, an expenses account. Perhaps you might need a savings account. I hope you do. So this way, it'll be a clear view of your transactions, and it's a lot easier for you to manage your budget. So with online banking, it's a lot quicker and easier to transfer money between your accounts as well. So if you want someone that you trust to manage your accounts, you can also give them online access as well. Now, some banks have the ability to connect with your accounts to accounting software. Okay, so ask that question, ask your bank. Ask your bank, put this question to them. This is what I'm doing in business. What do you recommend that I can do to make running my small business a lot easier and a lot quicker? And obviously, it's great to be able to have those connections of your online banking app talking to your accounting software, because it makes it a lot easier for you. All right, let's have a little bit of a look at paying employees and contractors. So your business is doing really well. It's growing fast, the amount of sales or work that you get, and you're able to handle it by yourself, but perhaps you do need some people to be able to help you do the work. So is it time that you think about employing staff or hiring contractors? So this means you'll need to pay wages or salaries, withhold tax for them, and obviously pay their superannuation. You'll need to issue pay slips and annual payment summaries to your workers. You'll be required to report payment information to the ATO each time you pay your workers. So if you have a small number of workers, you may be able to manage these on paper documents, but it'll be a lot easier if you've got a payroll software or an accounting software. So if you have a number of workers, you may be able to look at these types of options, have a look at the different features, look at the prices, look at the customer level of support. Since July 2019, all employers are required to report through single touch payroll. So you need to find a payroll or an accounting software that's single touch payroll enabled. So the ATO website shows you which software can do this. All you need to do is go to ato.gov.au/STP. So Sierra Tango Papa. Now, if you're a micro employer, That means you've got 1 to 4 employees. Have a look at the list on ato.gov.au/STP. Scroll about halfway down the page. There's a table there with low cost, no cost software solutions. So that might be something for you as well if you're just starting off in your business, which I know a few of you are. So when paying superannuation for your workers fund, you use a superannuation clearinghouse. It makes it a lot easier because you don't have to pay each individual fund. You may like to consider using the small business superannuation clearinghouse. It's a free service and it's offered by the ATO and it's in real time. So why I say that? When you press the button, yep, I'm submitting my data, it actually goes directly in real time through to the superannuation business clearinghouse, and it goes into your employees' MyGov accounts as well. So the employee can see it, the superannuation house can see that you're making the payments, and the payments are at that correct rate. Okay, so that's a really important one. Now, you come through, I've got a little question there in the chat box, but we'll just go in and chat a little bit more about the human resources and management software. I'm just going to have a little bit of a look at the chat box. Yeah, Tommy, if you email me, I'll be able to reply to your email as well. Okay, so I just need you guys to email me because I do 4 to 6 webinars. I can do 4 to 6 webinars a day. So I'm getting quite a few people coming through, and I've got no dramas at all answering. I love being able to answer, and I've got all the information there. I just need to be able to email it so it goes directly through to you. It's a little bit easier for you. I like to call it being time efficient. All right, talking about time efficient, I better keep on going with this webinar. So apart from the accounting software and the payroll software, what other software do you think would help manage your workers? Is it human resources management software? Perhaps it's timesheets. Is it a rostering system? Do you have a job log or a task management system? If you've got a software like MS Office or Outlook, you could manage some of these. If you do your research for specific templates or forms on the internet, you can also make your own templates. But it may not be as easy to import or integrate that data into your payroll or your accounting software. That you may want to link that data later. So check that out, ask the questions. There are many accounting and business softwares that provide these features as well as helping you manage your finance data. You can find individual software or apps that provide you each of these features. Some of them you can also integrate into your accounting software systems. Let's have a chat about the business portal, and I've got a couple of links to place into the chat box with this one. So when you run a business, look, you've got the legal obligation to regularly report your tax and your super affairs through to us, the ATO. So let's take a look at how you can do this online. You can lodge all your business reports through the ATO through the business portal. One of the main reports you're required to lodge is the business activity statement. So many businesses lodge it quarterly. On the business activity statement, you can report your GST, pay-as-you-go withholding, pay-as-you-go instalments. You can also pay online if you've got any tax to pay. So if you're providing a salary sacrifice package to your employee, you may need to lodge fringe benefit tax reports as well. If you have contractors providing services on behalf of your business, you can lodge the taxable payments annual report, and you can do that on the business portal. So that's one of our 6 industries: road freight, IT, security, cleaning, I should know them, building construction, and there's another one as well. But have a look, ato.gov.au/TPAR. All right, so to access the business portal, you're going to need to use the new authentication and authorization tool. It's called MyGov ID, okay? And you need, once you've registered for MyGov ID, you need to be able to link it to RAM, Okay, so MyGov ID, look, it's an app that you download onto your smart device, which lets you prove who you are online, and then you're going to link it to RAM. It's Relationship Authorization Manager. Allow me just to place that into the chat box, as I prepared this earlier. There we go, picking it up now, popping it into the chat box. Okay, there we go. Now, if also, I've got linking to RAM, we've got some great how-tos on how to do this. And a great how-to is on ATO TV, there's an actual podcast that steps you through exactly how to register for MyGov ID. So you get your little phone out and you watch your podcast and you do it at the same time. So it's going to step you through step by step. All right, let's look at, actually, let's just chat AusKey. This is an important one. So if you've been using AusKey, let me remind you that AusKey is no longer, it was hardwired to end as of the 27th of March this year. You might remember as of the 27th of March this year, the federal government came out and said, welcome to restrictions. So you can imagine that 27th of March is a real milestone. I don't think I will ever forget that date. So we had to transition small businesses online via MyGov ID. So we looked at accounting software earlier, which helps you calculate and record your income and your expenses. You don't have accounting software, you may want to use the ATO app, as I was saying before. The business performance, inside the app, there's a business performance check tool. Now, that allows small businesses to compare their performance to other small businesses in the same area or industry, and they've got benchmarking in there. So go in, have a look. You've got the fuel tax calculator. You've also got your key dates for lodgement. You've got a payment plan estimator tool that's going to help you if you need it to arrange a payment arrangement. There's also the super guarantee contributions tool. And there's a tax withheld calculator. No more of those big pieces of paper with your tax rates. We've got a calculator that's going to work it out for you. So don't forget, ATO app, it's an absolute gem. There's plenty of information, plenty of support out there. We're everywhere. We're across Facebook. We're on the book face. Don't hesitate to send us a cheeky Twitter via tweet. You can message us via LinkedIn, and don't forget those how-tos on the ATO YouTube page. All right, well, look, that's it from me. More than happy to take any questions through the chat box. Alternatively, email me. More than happy to pick that up. Our sincerest thanks goes out to the Northern Beaches Council for hosting us today. So that's Lyndon Regina signing out from the Australian Taxation Office, Digital Options for Your Small Business. Plenty more webinars coming your way. I'll hand you over to Deb for the rundown.
Thanks, Lyndon. Yes, now if everyone wouldn't mind taking a moment, we've just got a very short poll. Just want to get feedback on how satisfied you are with the webinar today. As we mentioned at the start, this is a series of 8 webinars that Northern Beaches Council is partnering with the ATO to deliver to get businesses ready for tax time and answer your tricky tax questions, especially in this unprecedented time. So we have one coming up, so every Tuesday, 1:30 till 2:30. The next one is on closing a business. We know that unfortunately this is going to become an issue, I think, particularly for a lot of businesses moving towards the end of September with the changes happening then. So again, we're trying to assist businesses in every way at different parts of their journey. And there's also one on record keeping, home-based business tax, budgeting your commitments, cash flow for small business, which I know one of you have already expressed an interest in, and becoming an employer. So all of these webinars, I'll send an email at the end of today with a link to our Council What's On page, and you can go and keep registering for these webinars and hopefully see you at those, and stay connected with Council. Again, I encourage you to sign up to our business newsletter to find out about ongoing support we can provide you and welcome feedback of what Council can be doing further to assist you. But once again, thank everyone for their time. We really do appreciate it, and we know how busy you are. So I just want to say a big thank you to Lyndon, and hope to see some of you at the next webinars. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.